Hi guys, and welcome back. StickzMC here, and today I want to show you guys how I go about designing my starter houses for a survival world. Uh, Today I'm going to be recording with some of the guys from the Bending Survival server, and we're going to be restarting in a new world. So I'm going to design my starter house for that world right now with you guys on camera. Right, let's get right into it. Alright, so I quickly set up my build palette. This is something that you should always start with. Just have yourself some blocks that work together quite nicely. So these are all the gray blocks and these are all the wood types with accents and with normal walls, which will allow you to just plan out your build in a neat and orderly fashion. So it doesn't really matter whether you have wood here or log. It's just that you have a sense of which block you're going to be using. You also don't have to stick to this build palette constantly. You can also add other blocks that will really work with the build palette, but these will be your main blocks. So yeah, I'm going to be using these ones. You can of course also use acacia with acacia wood as the walls, and then for example a cobblestone roof or a thatch roof or something. Yeah, you just have to figure this out by yourself. You don't have to copy what I'm doing, but I just like building with these blocks and I have a nice idea and plan in mind. So next up, you actually wanna put down a shape. I'm going to do that right now, and I will tell you guys how I go about it. So I start off with a square or a rectangle for the main part of the base. This is to get myself enough space inside of my base to put everything. So I just use a 7-block gap between these two and a 7-block gap between these two and a 5-block gap between these two. That's what I used right now. And then I'm going to extend certain walls of it. I'm going to maybe even extend it this way to get it bigger. But yeah, that's just how I start to really fit in everything that I need to. Because you might just have an awesome shape, but if you can't fit anything into your survival starter base, the shape doesn't matter. So yeah. Right, now I extend on it. I do have a good thing in mind for what I want to do. So yeah, I just basically made it an oval shape like this, and now I'm going to put around another exterior to get myself some depth in the next build. I'm also going to place down the walls how I want them. So yeah, let's get right into that. Right, so I placed down how I'm going to put the walls and how I'm going to put a perimeter around it. These will be pillars like this into a roof, so that I also have some options for decorating outside of my house without it feeling like just a grass patch around my house. So let's get actually into a little bit of the building. So now I've put up the pillars and the framework. These are 3 high, these are 5 high I believe, or 6 high. 6 high, these are 6 high. And yeah, I will just basically attach these to here with a little bit of staircases, and I will fill in the walls right now. A really nice design for a medieval Viking style house is actually having a dark oak bottom and then filling it in with either spruce or oak. So yeah, maybe I'll even do one wall right here with spruce and the rest with oak to show you how the spruce will look. Alright, let's get to it. So as you can see, this gives a really nice aesthetic and already makes it feel like a better build than if you just had only oak down there. With spruce it comes out something like this, but I like the normal oak block better. But if you want a darker build in, for example, a spruce forest or a dark oak forest, I would use the spruce to make it stand out less. Alright, I would still use the oak wood because, well, that just works with every type of wood that you have. But I'm just now going to fill this in with oak, and yeah, I'll check back with you guys when I've done the roof of this little part outside. Alright, so I tried to go with something fancy with spruce on top of stone stairs, but I don't know whether it looks good because yeah, I don't think it looks that great. But it doesn't really matter because you're in creative, so you can just change it out a little bit, or you can add some texture. Maybe that would work. I don't know whether that would work. It does break it up a little, but I don't know whether I like the gray into the wood. Maybe I'll just make it entirely out of spruce wood. But that's why you work on this in creative, so that you don't have to make all those stairs in survival and all those stairs on top and just figure out that you don't like the look of it and take it all down. Yeah. So if you guys didn't watch my last building video, which I suppose a lot of you didn't, you can actually make these pillars look more sturdy and strong using the trapdoors on the top and on the bottom. You would create these nice little pillars instead of these ones. So I'm just going to do that all around while I work out what I'm going to do for the roof part. That's also something that doesn't really matter whether you do, because whether you do everything in the correct order, that doesn't really matter. If you just get stuck somewhere like I did with the roof, I think I'm going to drag it out with spruce, but I don't know whether that would actually look good. So then you just think about it, whether you want to do it or whether you just want to continue with the rest of the build, and you just do something small, like add all these trapdoors to the pillars to get yourself some sturdiness feel and some depth even in a one block structure such as a pillar, which is always a good thing. So I'm just going to finish this off and I'll check back with you guys when I'm done with the roof. So now that that's all set up, I'm going to work on a roof design, but first I'm actually going to be making a entrance way into the build itself, because right here there's a nice entrance right now. Let's actually get some dark oak planks around here like this, and then some dark oak stairs like this, and then maybe even like this. And if you then just open this up, which I'm going to do right now, so then you can have this nice entryway right into your base. And if you want to, and you're going to recreate this house, if you are, I know some of you are, you maybe would have better luck just recreating the steps I take and creating your own house. You can even put an item frame right here with some sort of text to get everyone to see it. Maybe with "this is the home of," or "house of," or just your name. Or even something like this right here, "subscribe to stickz," which you should all do, of course, if you've enjoyed this video so far. But I'm just going to fix up these pillars like I did all the time and just create some buffiness to it. And that's it. Alright, now we're going on to the main roof design. So I'm actually going to drag this out a little bit upwards just to get myself some even more depth into my build. This is quite big for a starter house, but for a player like me, this starter house could probably take about 2 episodes or an episode to build even. which is quite easily built actually. And the roof design I went for right here was actually the round roof, and then I just put it into a nice triangular shape with a little bit of a thing right here. If you want roofs to end in a wall, you should always use the sideways stair like this, because otherwise like this you will have from the side, it won't look as good as if you do it like this. And even the little texture change right here would work perfectly. Alright, let's now get into the roof. So I actually finished the roof right now, and I decided to utilize a Viking style roof. So yeah, they have these giant cross beams of logs in history. They actually have that to support the roof of the house. So I just did those cross beams in stairs, and they came out quite nicely. Of course you don't have to do this, but you actually do want to have a recognizable roof, because if you create a big house like this one and you are in the middle of like a forest and you can only see the roof, you do want to recognize your house by your roof. So if you have, for example, the crosses, you can actually fairly easily just fly over. If you have elytra, well, I guess then you're not in a starter house anymore, but if you have something to fly over or just view it from above, you do want a special roof to really get you the recognition of, oh, there's my house, and then you can walk towards it. Right, but now I'm going to fill in the roof. I'm going to use I think acacia wood for this, or maybe stone and cobblestone. I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but I'm going to basically place the blocks one into the roof. So not right here, but actually right there, to get a little bit of depth inside of the build. Right, let's get started. Alright, so I just finished this roof for a little bit. I basically placed some cobblestone stairs down here all the way around, and I filled up the roof with acacia wood. So yeah, that's basically all that I did. For this design, I actually didn't know what to do a whole lot, so I actually watched a very old video from Grian. I was all out of inspiration, and that's also something that is very great. He made a base actually quite like this one, with the longhouse from the Viking culture as well. And I actually didn't know that that video existed before I started this build, but it's quite similar. And that's also one of the ways that's great for building. There are lots of YouTubers out here like me, like Rian, who do a lot of tutorials on how to make great roofs or great walls or detailing and all that stuff, which is, I think, just plain awesome. You guys should really check out those guys too, because yeah, they make awesome content and you can really learn a lot from them. So yeah, let's get right into the next part of the build. Alright, so as you can see, there has been a lot of changes. I finished up the roof, and I just added some survival things that you might need. So I built a little sheep pen right here. For those of you who don't know, if you place a fence with a carpet on top, you can jump out, but the sheep won't be able to jump out. So that's a nice thing. Then right here we have a little wheat field, and we have added a fence to put your horse to. So yeah, that's just the survivability. And if you go inside, there is a floor of logs, stripped logs, and I really like the look of the stripped birch logs as a floor as a ground floor. So yeah, I like it. Then for the roof I used oak logs or oak wood, doesn't really matter what you use, and slabs to make it seem a little bit more depth and to get a little bit more spacious inside of here. Then a little storage system right here, for example, and some of your armor stands and a full enchanting setup with a anvil and a grindstone to to get your enchanting needs. Then upstairs we have ourselves another storage system for all the more valuable stuff, a furnace setup with a smoker and a blast furnace, a cartography table, a crafting bench and a stone cutter for all your crafting needs, and right here we got a bed in which you can sleep. So yeah, that's a thing for how you can design. If you guys want more building tips, be sure to check out my other building tips and tricks video. In there I go over some of the things I used, for example this roof, I go over that. If you want to make your outside look more look better, you can actually just add some coarse dirt and some path blocks to spice things up inside of your build. It can just be scattered around like this and it will make it look even better. So yeah, we started off with this build palette and we created all this. So that's basically how you can create your own starter house. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, like I said, be sure to check out other building tips videos that I made. Be sure to stick around. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Stickz out.